Hi guys, my name is Gurkiran Kaur and I'm from An Academy and let's crack management exams and IELTS with me. But before that, today's topic is special requirements for IELTS. There are certain people, if you are, if you have a hearing difficulty or a learning difficulty or a visual difficulty, there are certain arrangements which are made by IELTS to help you easily crack the exam for IELTS. But before that, I'll just give you a quick overview on what IELTS is, and after that, I'm going to take you through the same. What is IELTS? IELTS is the International English Language Testing System, which measures the language proficiency of people who want to study or work where English is used as the language of communication. IELTS also assesses your abilities in listening, reading, writing, and speaking. They're the four main topics which IELTS would be testing you on in less than 3 hours, and it uses a nine-band scale to identify the level of proficiency of English from a non-user, which is your band score 1, to an expert, which is a band score 9. So I was talking about special requirements. In my earlier sessions, I talked about paper-based versus computer-based IELTS. I talked about which type of IELTS should you give depending on your requirement. I also talked about how do you want to register for IELTS. So here, these are some of the special requirements. If someone, like I said, who is who has a visual learning challenge or a hearing learning challenge or has a learning difficulty in general, so, in order to ensure the language ability of all test takers is assessed fairly, as the very fair exam, it provides a comprehensive service for test takers to take these special requirements, including specific learning difficulties, hearing and visual difficulties, medical conditions, or infant feeding. And if you require a modified version of this test, you have to give at least 3 months notice. And if your circumstance requires special arrangements to be made, for example such as like extra time, you must give the center 6 weeks notice. And special arrangements would include extra time for medical conditions. You get braille papers for visually people who have visual difficulties, special listening CD with necessary stops and pauses, lip reading of the version, and large ring or speaking test cards in braille. It may take 3 months for to be made for you, so you should make your application as soon as possible through your IELTS test center. What will the IELTS test center do? They will confirm the application deadline. They will ask for full details of your difficulties, whether it's visual or hearing or learning, make arrangements to take the test, and they might also ask you to provide a medical certificate for the same. So, for visual difficulties, what all special arrangements can you make? You can ask them extra time, you can ask for extra 25% of the normal time for the paper. You can help with reading the questions papers. If you cannot see or are partially sighted, you may be permitted to use your own equipment to assist you in reading. You can also ask for a reader and he will read you and reread the questions to you. But however, in the reading paper, the reader cannot read out the text to you and you're not allowed to use the screen reading software. Help with writing your answers. If you cannot see or partially sighted, you may be permitted to use your own equipment, such as braille machines. You can speak your answers to a person who writes them down to you. You can write your answers on a separate sheet of paper instead of using the computer read answer sheet. Braille question papers. Exam papers are available as contracted grade 2 Braille and contracted grade 1 Braille, and from January 2016, Invite English Braille. You get enlarged print question papers. I will be showing you later what are enlarged print question papers. You'll get a font which is size 18 so that if you have any difficulty, like I said, you can definitely take help of that as well. You will also get special versions of this listening test in case you have an issue, listening as well. You can stop the CD before each part of the test to give you enough time to read the questions. Stop the CD at certain points. You can stop the CD after each part also to check your answers. Well, it is very convenient, and I think IELTS has done a great job accommodating each and everyone, and it's fair and square to everyone, whether you have any difficulty or you don't have any difficulty, and that's a great move by IELTS. There are also special versions of the speaking test. So if you have visual difficulties, you can ask for extra time. If you take longer than usual to read any test material, or you have, like I mentioned earlier, have enlarged print or speaking test cards in Braille. You also have, like I mentioned earlier, you have someone to read you or write down your answers. Please note they will not explain the questions to you or give you any advice. They will just read it to you and you have to just answer the question, and they can read back, and then they can read back the answers that you have that you have said. And you can use screen reading software to read back the answers. So, but you cannot use spell check, grammar check, or thesaurus function in any of those. And if you like to know more about read, are you having a reader, someone to write on your answers, you can contact your center where you are taking your IELTS up. Well, next I'm going to talk about hearing difficulties. In case you, if people with hearing difficulties, you can use your hearing aids, headphones, and all, but you need to inform your test center before that, prior, and that is 6 weeks prior to your exam. So that in case they have to make the necessary arrangements, whether they have to shift you to a new room or connect to another person, they or connect to another center, they will help you out with that. And test takers can read some questions which are printed on a question paper, listen to a recording, write answers to the questions on a separate answer sheet. If you're hearing impaired, lip versions of the listening test, you can also ask for the hearing impaired version of the listening test. Instead of playing a recording, the supervisor will read out the material to you. You can lip read the text and then you can answer the question, and they will stop reading from time to time during the reading. That will give you time to write the answers. Special arrangements for the speaking test. If it takes longer for you than usual to say things or to understand what people say to you, you can ask for extra time to complete the test as well. But you're not allowed to use signing in a speaking test. Exemptions and endorse certificates. If you have severe hearing or speaking difficulties, and the special arrangements are really not sufficient for you, if you cannot lip read at all as well, you can ask for exemption from taking this listening test. But this means you do not have to take the test. But this exemption you have to apply before the test. You cannot do it while the test is going on, and you can apply the exemption from one or two components. You will given a score on the missing component based on your performance in the other components. Suppose if you've done reading and writing, you will be scored on that, and that'll be calculated on your overall IELTS band score. And your test report also will be written as, due to extreme speaking hearing difficulties, this candidate was exempt from speaking or listening, and this test band score has been notionalized on the basis of the average of other 2 3 band scores. Medical evidence. You must give the center a report about your level. So this is for learning difficulties. Now people who have difficulty in learning or understanding a topic or anything, and you have to give like a proper medical evidence. This was if basically if you have it when you were age 12 or older, and with full details of what problem do you have, whether it is ADHD or you have dyslexia or any of that. And it is written by a fully qualified psychologist that you have proper learning difficulties, and you do not have or cannot get a report like this. You have to connect to your IELTS test center for the same. You can get extra time. So what are the special things that can be arranged for you? You will definitely get extra time to complete a paper. You can ask extra 25% of the normal time for the paper, and you can ask for more than 25% extra time also if you think you need it. However, too much extra time may make you very tired as well. So plus just make sure that you are taking care of the time. Supervised breaks. You can also take a lot of supervised break. Instead of taking extra time, you can stop writing and take a break alone in the other room. This might help you if you have difficulty concentrating for long periods. Writing your answers using a computer. You can ask for permission to write your answers using a computer or word processor, but you cannot use the spell check, grammar check, or thesaurus function if you're using the computer. Reading the question paper. You must read the paper yourself. Although it may take you longer to read the question paper, you are not allowed to have someone read to them to you or use a computer with screen reading software. Having a copy or a transcriber. If your handwriting is very difficult to read, you may ask the center to copy or make a transcript of your work. This means that at the end of the test, you can ask a transcriber to you can read the answers out to them, and the copier will write down the exact copy of your answers, including any mistakes in grammar, spelling, or punctuation. Help filling in your answer sheets. IELTS listening and reading test, you have to copy your answers to the answer sheet. If you find it difficult to follow the numbers or order of question, you'll be allowed to write your answers on a separate sheet, and then you can and or directly on the question paper, but you need to ask your center for the same if you have any difficulties of that sort. Transparent colored overlays. You may ask for permission to use transparent colored overlays if you normally use them, and you must notify your test center 6 weeks prior to the test. You may apply for enlarged print copies. Like I said earlier, also there are enlarged print copies like this. The question paper is modified or anything which is not needed for answering the question. is removed, all the words in these papers are in the same print size. So it'll be easier for you to understand. Each page in this papers is A4 size. Any other equipment, if you ask your IELTS tester if you want to use any type of equipment, for example, a screen magnifier or anything else which helps you easily take your exam well. So, guys, people who have visual or hearing or learning difficulties, this is for you guys. Uh, Please do take note. IELTS is very accommodating. You will really get a lot of help, and I'm sure you can crack that exam without any problem. And you can of course visit IELTS.org to take more help in case you have any doubts or anything. Uh, Thank you so much, guys. This was the session on special requirements. You can enroll for the IELTS exam in case you want to learn more about it on the Unacademy app, which is the Unacademy Plus subscription that you can take, or any other management exam that you're planning to take. So for us, CAT, SNAP, and MATIS, everything, you can subscribe to Unacademy Plus or Unacademy Iconic. Unacademy Plus has the India's best top educators teaching you live classes and also recorded versions of the same. Also get you structured PDFs and structured courses with live tests and quizzes where you can challenge yourself every day on the leaderboard live and see where you need to improve or where you are excelling. The iconic version is even better. You get like a personalized coach, one-on-one coach who will take your classes only for you, with you. So go check it out. Definitely you will get some help from it. And the cost for this is 3500 for a month, and you use my special code GCOR to get an additional 10% off. This is for Unacademy Plus. For Unacademy Iconic, you it is for 12 months, it is 30,000, and for 30,000 and you get an additional 10% off using my code GCOR. So guys, go ahead, subscribe to Unacademy, and cheers, all the best. Like, share, subscribe Cat for MBA. We also have daily YouTube live classes where you can go and check out all the other educators who are teaching different things, different materials. Okay, thank you.